I'm Kevin Ostapek at Prairie Noodle Shop here in Edmonton. We're a small ramen shop, and we do a few appetizers as well. We use wheat for a couple of our real cornerstone menu items, one of them being our baos. Then, of course, our noodles, the fundamentals of what we are. Our ramen noodle is made here in the city for us. It's a wheat noodle using an alkaline solution, a little bit of salt and water. Today, I'm going to be making something that I've wanted to play with for a while and kind of inspired by Ivan Orkin. This noodle recipe calls for 10% rye flour, and then we're using a soft cake or pastry flour at about 66%, and about 1/3 of this is also a strong flour. So this gives us a combination of sufficient gluten to hold the noodles together, and it also gives us some structure. I've added a little bit of cooked baking powder as my ingredient to make these noodles alkaline. Now we just slowly combine this with some water. So once our dough is fully combined, it's made a nice, smooth, glossy ball of dough, I like to wrap it up and let it rest for at least a couple of hours. Ideally, we'd like to let a noodle dough rest overnight. Once you've developed all of the glutens in a wheat-based dough, you want them to sort of shrink back, so as you stretch them, they have some elasticity. A little bit of cornstarch here to stop the dough from adhering. I'm just gonna flatten it out a little bit, and then we'll gradually start working it through at the lowest tension on our pasta roller. It's important to roll the noodles through sort of as a graduated process. You can't work the dough through all at once. I think this second roll through, we may actually be thin enough to make a nice pliable, usable noodle that hasn't incorporated too much cornstarch into the dough. I'm just gonna fold these up, cut ourselves some nice wide noodles. Every different noodle dough has a subtly different cook time. For our standard wheat noodles, we run exactly 50 seconds for every bowl. During the assembly of the bowl, we start out with some sort of sofrito or flavoring agent to add to our broth. When we assemble the bowl, we just slide the noodles in, give them a quick stir around, add our proteins like this brisket, fresh sprouts, a little bit of vegan house-made kimchi, a little bit of sesame seed, some perilla leaf. Of course, we can never get away with serving a bowl without one of our famous eggs. They're marinated in an umeboshi brine. I would think for anyone who wants to try and make noodles, ramen or otherwise at home, or anything really with wheat, just repetition. Get a good recipe, do it over and over again until you have a result that you want. There is no substitute for coming to understand the texture and feel of well-developed glutens and what your noodles or dough should feel like.